like Just Nick over there. I think that's the, what is it, the early check guy on a net there? I'm not sure. This is Ed over here, WBAGKV. Need a signal check. Over.
WBAGKV, this is KD8SLG. Nick it, just Nick. Yeah, the pre-check guy. How you doing, Ed? I'm in the car, but you sound pretty good.
Well, I checked the antenna again. Now, it is pointed southeast, and I used to have it pointed, I think, east. I don't know. Northeast, it didn't get in good. It did somewhat east, a little bit towards south. It got in maybe okay, but I got to turn it back. It's away from Jack, but I only have to turn it so many degrees. I still hear him, but I haven't turned it, so I thought I'd get another check if it's full quiet. Of course, I am getting in at 440 here. I'm not at home, so there could be a loss there, but that's the one check. And then I've ordered a bunch of stuff there. I'm getting ready to put up an antenna. The weather, gosh, it's 70 degrees. What do you think? Over.
I think I spent like almost 6 hours today cleaning my car and doing a few other things with it. So I think it was a nice day. I was glad to get out there and get some fresh air in my lungs and some sunshine on the top of my head.
Well, I pulled the car up several days and was looking at the back of the house about this antenna, but there is for one of the antennas, I got a 75 meter, but I got a 40 I haven't ordered yet, yet fed, and there is a chimney on the house. It doesn't have a fireplace, and I think it might have been for the old furnace, and I ordered a small chimney mount, light duty, but that might be a good place to put the pollen, but it'd be on the roof. They'd have to climb up the roof, but if not, I could side mount that one. I'm trying to figure out about the mountings, where to suggest, ideas. But that chimney mount might work good because it'll reduce the angle. So I don't know. But that's what we've been thinking about here lately, is getting those antennas up there. Over.
Well, I gotcha. Well, I know Dustin's over there all the time. I imagine he has a few ideas for you. KD8SLG.
Well, he hasn't really looked in the back too much, but he might have an idea. I don't know. I've been driving back there and looking. I had one antenna disappeared, and I couldn't believe it, and it still got out good. And now I see it great. But I guess the sky, when you're up near the tower looking up, I can't handle that, But just a little further away, you see it good from the front of the house. But I was looking at it from behind the house through the windshield, and even now where I know where it is, you don't see it. So I think that the sky, the color of the sky, and all kinds of things can vary in there. But at least I know it's there. 2-meter antenna there that I use, check in on the net at first, before I up over the other seat there. But that thing is fine. But yeah, I've just been thinking about antennas, so that's my story there. But I think this one probably gets in okay, though. You haven't said nothing. There may be a little noise.
Car right now, and I don't hear any noise at all. Or any meter, but sounds great, Ed. Sounds great. Going fine.
KG4SCK.
My deal there. What do you call that? Crossband link. I got 10 watts. It's turned to 10 watts. I used to use 5. But at night on Simplex, I do have an amp I think we're good to go there. So anyway, yeah, you're sounding fine. Getting in the repeater there, but yeah, 70 degree, you know, so it's already April. I think the 4th or 5th. 4th, I think it is, and the lawns are going to start growing, and, you know, I guess that's the time of year. So I didn't put a coat on today. Let me put it that way, over.
I heard another station in there, KG4SCK. Go ahead, Mark.
Yes, sir. Hey, Nick. How am I sounding on this new ICOM 9700?
Well, I don't know. I just went down in the valley into Dalton, and everything started getting fuzzy on me. So I'm not the person to ask for a radio check right now. But the 9700, I'm sure you're doing just fine. Congratulations are in order, I guess. KD8SLG.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Yeah, you're my first contact there on that, and you and Ed are sounding terrific on this new radio. Oh, my gosh. So I just cranked it down to 50% and, you know, got permission from the apartment to run a ground stake in, so I think I'm doing okay. I got to figure out how to get it to the internet and what all the knobs and buttons do. So back over to, I think, Ed, WBA-GKV.
Well, that signal sounds fine here. Of course, I'm going through a link and everything, but it sounds almost full quieting, just about. And like I say, I'm not listening direct, so you know, I got 440 going back to the house and all that. But yeah, you're coming in fine. And we're in the mobile here. I'm using the link to get in, which I do because I monitor, you know, the HT in the house or wherever I'm at. The HT just don't get into the repeater with the rubber duck just right. Same thing from the car. So I got that link on and we're set. So sounding fine this away. WBA-GKV. I'm up here at the local Walmart there in Wadsworth.
Well, all right. I was going to give Nick a chance to get back in there if he wanted. And like I say, I have got some real learning to do. I've never operated a rig before. It's just a little simple mobile. There's a lot of bells and whistles to learn. But that's the fun of it, eh? And I guess I'll be making it in on the net tonight, so I'll listen up for you guys there. KG4SCK, standing by for WBA-GKV.
KD8SLG returning. Sorry, guys, I was at the drive-thru there.
Well, there you go. Well, you're making it in there fine, Nick, wherever you're in the drive-thru. And everything seems to be working fine. Got no complaints there. I'll probably be listening to the net tonight. I don't usually check in from the car. This is kind of a hassle getting in there with the link, you know, but I'll listen to the first part of it till I get home anyway. Tuesday night. That makes it Tuesday night for the net there. I don't know who's the net control tonight. I think you were, though, the week or two ago. I forget. Can't keep track of all that stuff. But anyway, with the trivia and all that stuff. But there you go. And we will see you tomorrow night, hopefully, Wednesday there. see what's up. So on and so forth. I'll sign back out. I guess the mobile's doing it. I have problems here. It's got a bad microphone cable and all kinds of things going on. I'm running it off 120 volt power supply in the back seat. The motor has to be running. I can only use 5 watts with that. It can't go to even 10 hardly. And if this thing has 10, I think the second power might be 10. And that 120 or 50 watt alternator, conversion to AC just don't, and the cigar lighter don't work anymore, and I can't seem to find where the fuse is, and so we use HT a lot in here, but I'm on a radio now. Anyways, say 7.3, everybody's sounding fine, signal reports are good, so what else can I say? This is WBA GKV Mobile, I'll listen out.
WBA GKV, KD8SLG. We'll talk to you later there, Ed. You sound fine. KG4SCK. So, dude, we're going to have to try out your D-Star later.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm still got to figure out how to even get the drivers installed on my laptop. I was just doing that before I heard you call out, so I wanted to make sure I was the first contact there with you. And with Ed, I always enjoy listening to you on the Pajama Net, you and Jim there, and Barry and Randy and Willard and Robert, Bob. Y'all all put on a good show. It's pretty entertaining, so I appreciate that. And, yeah, definitely get that D-Star going. That was one of the goals for this radio. So I'll be hitting you up if I have any roadblocks, Nick. I appreciate all the assistance. KG4SCK, back over to KD8SLG.
Oh, I closed up the windows and the sunroof and moved the speaker a little closer, and you're definitely sounding really, really good on that new ICOM. Sounds like I'm sitting across the table from you at El Patron.
Yeah, that really does sound tempting. I appreciate that. I might have to join you in something, a libation one of these days. So, yeah, there's the temptation. Thank you, Nick. Just Nick.
It's all good. I was on the Bolo net last night. Jerry, Casey at HDB had the Bolo net last night, so poked a little fun at him for our good times up there, breaking bread, and that was a good time. I'm glad we all got together and did that.
I don't know when the last time I identified, so KG4SCK identification. I read about the Bolo net on the website, and of course I had limited radio, so I just didn't know what was going on. It said to learn digital, and I was like, yeah, okay. I couldn't get my little FT70 to do anything on the frequencies I read, and I was like, well, I'm missing something there, so there you go.
Well, that's pretty much set up just for DMR right now. So you got to have a DMR code plug, all that good stuff in there for that one. So, yeah, that's pretty much a DMR only thing right now. All right there, buddy. I am about to pull into the QTH. I got a couple of chicken sandwiches here I'm going to stuff in my pie hole. And not the club net, but the Newsline is going to start in, I guess, about 8 minutes or so. So with that, I'm going to say 73 for now. Congratulations on the newest acquisition, and we'll have to get me when I'm home, and I'll be on one of my good radios, and we can see how it sounds from there. Sound like a plan? This is KD8SLG back to KG4SCK.
All right, Nick, that is a plan. Always enjoy your tips and tricks and prodding. Definitely enjoy the prodding. So thank you again, sir. And I guess I will clear with you, sir, on your final KG4SDK back to KD8SLG.
All right there, Mark. Always a pleasure. Talk to you later on. KD8SLG clear with KG4SCK. 73, Mark.
KD8SLG, WV3K. First short.
WV3K, KD8SLG. Go ahead there, Phil.
Everything is good here, and doing better. Today's a good day.
All right, good to hear there, Phil. Good to hear. KD8SLG.
Very well. You go ahead and take care of that cave and enjoy. We'll talk to you again soon. KD8SLG, WV3K, clear.
KD8SLG, clear with WV3K.
Amateur radio newsline will start in 5 minutes.
W8WKY. Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2370 with the release date of Friday, March 31st, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Hams step up for storms in the U.S. Southeast. The first 3D printed rocket crashes after launch. And our once-a-year correspondent, Pierre Polemaleg, has some news about Bouvet Island. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2370 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, here's Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
We begin this week with deadly storms and tornadoes that pounded southeastern states in the U.S. Randy Sly, W4XJ, tells us that if hams could get to their radios, they did. Here's his report.
At least 26 people have died in the wake of powerful storms and tornadoes that swept through the southeastern United States on Friday evening, March 24th. Mississippi was hardest hit as an EF4 tornado carved a 100-mile path of deadly destruction, leaving the towns of Rolling Fork and Silver City in ruins, along with several others. Robert Hayes, KC5IMN, Amateur Radio Emergency Service Section Emergency Coordinator for Mississippi, told Amateur Radio Newsline that the Jackson Amateur Radio Club activated a Skywarn net early in the afternoon, as did the Central Mississippi Aries Group with their linked repeaters covering the periphery of the Jackson metro area. In addition, Vicksburg, Warren County Aries was also up and running, as were several non-Aries affiliated nets across the state. He summarized the weather event by saying that after the initial reports of the three major impacts, almost every operator who could get on the air was on the air if they were in a coverage area. Hayes noted that just prior to the storm, the section was about to initiate a request from the three NWS offices that cover the state to talk about Skywarn requirements and standards in order to be more effective as spotters. This storm, he believes, provides even greater motivation to accomplish this. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The launch of the first 3D printed rocket didn't result in the successful flight that was envisioned by the company that created it, but they are still encouraged. Paul Brown, WD9GCO, has those details.
When the first rocket to be created by 3D printing lifted off from Cape Canaveral, Florida on March 22nd, it was a successful launch, but a failed flight. The creators of Terran 1, however, are encouraged by the late March blastoff, which was intended to send the rocket 200 kilometers or 125 miles into orbit for a few days. The California company, known as Relativity Space, had printed 85% of the rocket's metal components, including its engines, as a means of making the costs of space travel less prohibitive. After 3 minutes of flight, however, the uncrewed Terran 1 crashed into the ocean after one of its 9 engines appeared to lose ignition. In an interview with National Public Radio conducted prior to the launch, the company's CEO, Tim Ellis, had said that he would still consider the mission a success if the rocket were simply capable of surviving the rigors of a launch. A company executive said during the launch webcast that she believed enough data had been gathered to demonstrate that 3D printed rockets can be viable in space. According to the NPR report, yet another rocket is already in the design stages for launch next year, and the company ultimately hopes to create a rocket in which 95% of its parts are created through 3D printing. The startup venture has entered the market hoping to be able to help send even more satellites into orbit around the Earth. This is Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
It's not yet cyclone season in India, but for amateurs on the east coast of that nation, it's always a good season to be prepared. As you'll hear in this story from Graham Kemp, VK4BB, the West Bengal Radio Club, was prepared.
The tropical cyclones that have struck eastern India over the years have been deadly. However, none of those cyclones could compare to the one that hams responded to on March 23 in the state of West Bengal. This was a mock cyclone, and so at 9 o'clock that morning when the region went into high alert and hams responded, it was only a drill. The drill had been organised by the National Disaster Management Agency and arranged by the government of West Bengal's Disaster Management Department. The club station quickly established communications throughout the villages, and 25 licensed hams from the club kept the lines of communication open. This kind of readiness remains critical in India, but especially in the eastern coastal area, where states like West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Odisha feel the brunt of the damage and share the difficult cyclone season with nearby Bangladesh. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
The long-awaited new amateur license class is coming to Australia, but not as quickly as many had hoped. John Williams, VK4JJW, brings us up to date.
Hams in Australia who've been waiting for the introduction of the new amateur class license on July 1st are going to have to wait a little longer. The Australian Communications and Media Authority has announced that it must make certain determinations concerning the license's operational policy arrangements and to further clarify the implementation of higher power authorization. According to the ACMA website, that includes call sign administration, public register options, amateur operating procedures, and arrangements for amateur club and international reciprocity for advanced amateurs travelling overseas. The ACMA's review also includes, among other things, its proposed access for standard-level amateur licensees for the 50 to 52 megahertz band. The ACMA said it'll provide an update in the second quarter of this year. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
Another voice has weighed in on the battle to keep AM radio in in the United States. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, has that update.
A New Jersey lawmaker has added his voice to the growing call in the United States, asking that AM radio become a required safety feature for all automakers, including electric cars being manufactured in the U.S. market. Congressman Josh Gottheimer said he believes some car makers' plans to discontinue AM radio in cars and trucks will pose an unnecessary danger during national emergencies when many alerts are transmitted over broadcast AM frequencies. He compared AM radio to other minimum safety requirements provided in cars, including seatbelts, airbags, and brakes. The lawmaker said the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has an obligation to put AM radio on that list of minimum standards. He spoke at a press conference in late March in New Jersey, accompanied by Jordan Walton, the executive director of the New Jersey Broadcasters Association. A number of car makers have said that AM radio transmissions are disrupted by noise generated by electric vehicles, making signal reception poor. There has been a growing call recently to keep AM radio for motorists in the U.S. The most recent voices have been those of 7 former officials of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Hams and firefighters alike are mourning the death of a colleague in Caribou, Maine. Daniel Raymond, KC1PGR, became a silent key on March 23rd following an automobile accident. Dan had been involved in rescue and firefighting for much of his adult life. In 1995, he became a career firefighter for the Caribou Fire and Ambulance Department, eventually attaining the rank of captain. A devoted public servant on many levels, Dan was active in community life and taught public safety education. He was charter member of the Caribou Emergency Amateur Radio Service and an active operator with the Caribou Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service. Dan was 57. Imagine an antenna that stands 7 stories tall, is 30 feet wide, and contains 110 tons of stainless steel, bronze, and steel. Well, it's not really an antenna. It's a sculpture on the campus of University in New York State. But for just one day in March, it helped log a contact on 20 meters. Cell MB KB3TZD explains.
The sculpture is called the Sentinel, and by all accounts, it is the largest sculpture to stand on any university campus in the United States. It recently morphed into a 20-meter antenna that helped log a successful contact using FT8 on 5 watts. Experiments are a way of life at the Rochester Institute of Technology in upstate New York, and so members of the amateur radio club K2GXT couldn't resist giving in to their long-simmering temptation to turn the Sentinel from a symbolic campus guardian into a somewhat artful messenger. The hams first checked the setup with a nano VNA and then let those 5 watts loose, keeping onlookers at a safe distance while they transmitted. A report by one of the club members on Reddit said, "With help from our university's health and safety team, we did this today. We were able to be heard almost across the entire eastern half of the U.S., at least according to PSK Reporter, despite some less than amazing band conditions." While this is the first such attempt by the club, and happily a successful one, the story doesn't end here. The club members wrote, "We're really impressed with the results, and we hope to do this again with better band conditions." The sculpture cost $800,000 when it was installed 20 years ago, It might be more cost-effective next time to just toss a wire into the trees. This is Sel Emby, KB3, TZD.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the amateur radio newsline heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the W4HPL repeater in Cookeville, Tennessee, on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. local time. If you're heading to Hamvention in Xenia, Ohio, here's something to put on your calendar for that weekend. The Amateur Radio Newsline Town Hall Forum is back. This popular and lively 90-minute session was discontinued after the death of Newsline co-founder Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, in 2015. It returns on Friday, May 19 from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. local time with Mark Smith, N6MTS, co-host of the Ham Radio Workbench podcast, who will discuss the proposed open headset interface standard. Riley Hollingsworth, K4ZDH, former FCC Amateur Radio Enforcement Director who oversees the ARRL's Volunteer Monitor program. We will also be hosting IARU President Timothy Elam, VE6SH, who will give an overview of issues that IARU is reviewing that affect hams worldwide. See you there. Hams in the UK have already planned a variety of events to mark the King's coronation in May. They've just received approval for yet another way to mark the occasion. Jeremy Boot, G4NGH, has those details.
Ofcom has approved the use of the letter R as a regional secondary locator prefix for call signs used during the coronation of the King and the Queen Consort. Hams will need to apply for a notice of variation known as an NOV and can do so through the Radio Society of Great Britain's website. Use of this special prefix is approved for use during May and June. To apply, hams must provide their call sign and their email address, as well as the number of their amateur radio license. The application form is available at rsgb.org. The coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla will take place at Westminster Abbey on Saturday, the 6th of May. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
New Zealand's Secretary Island is traditionally a haven for native wildlife, especially birds, and is prized for having a splendid ecosystem. One amateur radio operator recently combined his work as a conservationist there with his pursuit of QSOs. Jim Meechan, CL2BHF, tells us of his adventures.
For 5 days, Matt Brick, ZL4NVW, was both the hunter and the hunted. He spent 5 days on Secretary Island, helping the Department of Conservation trap stoats, predators that made it across the Sound to invade this pristine island ecosystem. But Secretary also carries the island designation of ZLI/SL-253 in the ZL on the Air theme. So not all of the gear Matt carried was used for trapping these carnivorous mammals. He was looking to catch some QSOs, and he did, on several SOTA summits. He started with SOTA Summit ZL3/FL-728, known as the Hub, and went on to hut Mount Grono Berg, designated ZLH/SL-142. He wrote on the SOTA reflector that his first day on the island was a productive one. He brought in 10 SOTA contacts and, oh yes, 4 stoats. It was a good beginning. Later, he was to tackle SOTA Summit Mount Grono, ZL3/FL-616. In between checking the stoat traps, he made good contacts from this 4-point summit, which is the island's highest. Despite some weather challenges, his good fortune continued right up to the final day on the island. Matt didn't just leave with a log. He has pictures too. You can share his experience virtually by going to the SOTA reflector. The link appears in the text version of this week's script at arnewsline.org. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
In the world of DX, a DARC team has activated the special event call sign DA23WARD in celebration of World Amateur Radio Day. The station will be on the air through the 18th of April. The Bureau will automatically confirm all contacts Direct QSL should be sent via DL2 VFR. Another station marking World Amateur Radio Day is the UBA Special Event Station in Belgium using the call sign OT23WARD. This station will be on the air from the 1st through the 30th of April. QSL via club logs, OQRS, LOTW, EQSL. A certificate will be available. Be listening for 3A, 8AB from Monaco. Between April the 1st and the 30th, the activation commemorates the 100th anniversary of the first transatlantic two-way contact via amateur radio between Leon Deloy, F8AB, and Fred Schnell, 1MO. Leon became a silent key in 1969 in Monaco and bequeaths his fortune to a variety of philanthropic organizations, QSL via LOTW. Our final story of this week tells about a very new club. In fact, it's one of the most remarkable clubs to ever come into being. It's based in a most unlikely and very remote location, Bouvet Island. Our April Fool's Day correspondent Pierre Poulemalek tells Newsline listeners about the new Bouvet Island Amateur Radio Club and its highly unusual members. Remember, you heard this story first on Amateur Radio Newsline. Pierre?
Merci. After saying goodbye to the 3Y0JD expedition only a few weeks earlier, the local residents were inspired. They knew it was time for Bouvet Island to have its own amateur radio club. So one was hatched, just like so many of its members. Yes, hatched, because these members, you see, they are the penguins, native to this South Atlantic island. These birds are so very intelligent, and they had very carefully watched from afar as the team of operators called CQ. They learned just enough CW along the way to try and operate. So, just busted one of those pilots? No? Maybe you ended up working a penguin, and you did not know it. Well, now, these birds, they have developed their own deep mode of operating to make things easier. It's called a penguino. Penguino is good, oui? Because the birds found that a CW, well, she is nice enough, but it's too hard. Ham radio operators with wings, mes amis, cannot possibly hope to have a good fist. So, be listening for the low-power, highly efficient transmissions of Penguino on the HF bands. Listen for the club call sign 3Y2PENG for penguin. Please remember, too, that just because these birds cannot fly does not mean they can't get on the air. This has been Pierre Poulemalek saying au revoir, mes amis.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news if they aren't already doing so by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open and close on May 31st. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? We are not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to Amateur News Weekly, ARRL, Australian Communications and Media Authority, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, DX-World.net, FCC 425, DX News, Hackaday, National Public Radio, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Great Britain, Radio World, Reddit, Rochester Institute of Technology, Soda Reflector, shortwaveradio.de, space.com, West Bengal Radio Club, Wireless Institute of Australia, Worldwide Flora and Fauna, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
W8WKY. Time out.
the weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes.
W8WKY.
KD8SLG, this is AA8CS for a radio check, please.
AA8CS, this is KD8SLG. Sounds like Gary.
All right, yeah, sounds like we're going to have a whole bunch of people on the net this evening. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, so I will be standing by. I think we got about another minute. This is AA8CS.
Roger, Roger, Gary. Have some fun. This is KD8SLG. Clear until the net.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Sarah and friends. CQ, this is W8WKY calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. My name is Gary. My personal call is Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra, and I'll be your net control this evening using the club call W8WKY. That is when I can remember. We meet on this repeater every Tuesday night at 8 p.m., and we encourage all amateurs to participate. This is a controlled net. Please direct traffic through net control. As always, priority or emergency traffic may break into this net at any time. Tonight, we'll take in and out traffic first, followed by a round of regular check-ins. I have a trivia question for all y'all, and I'm looking forward to delivering it to you. If you would like to participate, stand by for regular check-ins if you would. Before we get started, just a couple of announcements. All right, sorry about that. I lost my paper, believe that or not. Okay, here we go. If you haven't paid your Sarah membership dues yet, please do so ASAP, as they are currently overdue. We don't want any of our 86,000 IRS folks looking over your shoulder, so get your dues in. Sarah, just remember, Sarah's membership year is from April 1st through March 31st, and we still have a few members who have not renewed their membership for this year. Remember that dues represent over 90% of our club's annual revenue. It supports our members to execute our core mission and events. Your dues fund our world-class repeater system, as well as our fun events, such as Field Day, the family picnic, and our Christmas shindig. Your support of Sarah is invaluable, and we ask that you continue to support our organizations. See w8wky.org for more information and links to renew your membership online, or join us for the very first time. Our next club meeting will be April 20th at the Eagles in Wadsworth. Join us at our new venue for our meeting, and join Jeff Royer, W8TV, who will discuss RFI in the Shack. Good thing to know about. Mark your calendars for April 20th. Plan to attend and bring a friend. Meeting details on w8wky.org under the Activities tab. And the last thing I have is that the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will hold their annual Hamfest Electronics and Computer Show on Saturday, April 15th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Emilio and Sons Party Center. That address is 48 East Bath Road in Cuyahoga Falls. More information is available on our website, w8wky.org, and of course on the CFARC webpage, CFARC.org. And that's all I have. Does anybody else have any announcements for the good of the cause?
WO3X.
WO3X, take it away. This is AAACS.
Yes, at that Hamfest, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Hamfest, there will be volunteer exam sessions. So go to www.cfarc.org and click on the Education tab and sign up for a volunteer exam session. You have to pre-register. Make sure you have your FRN. Now, besides the Hamfest ticket price, there is no other fee because it is a Laurel session. So with that, back to the net, this is WO3X.
All right, thanks for that, John. And if Stefan joins us today, he'll give us a report on our VE session that was held last Saturday. My understanding is that everyone got what they came for, and that's a good thing. Okay, anybody else for the good of the cause? Please call W8WKY. Okay, hearing nothing. As we normally do, I will take in and out traffic first, followed by a round of regular check-ins. When checking in, please give me your call sign, your name, and your location. At this time, I'll take in and out traffic for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. Please call W8WKY.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Victor Mike. Jim in Barberton.
W8WKY.
KE8SDQ, Ryan Maslin.
AB8OU, Zeke in Coventry.
KC8 CEO, Benny Mobile. Hotel, Doug and Ripon. N8DRD, Don in Marshallville.
Delta 8, Lima, Quebec, Sierra, Paul, Higley, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, carry it, Portage Lakes, in and out.
Kilo Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Mike, Tom and Green, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David Sterling, in and out.
N8WS Phil is in London, in and out the listing.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton, in and out this evening.
Kilo Echo Tango Lima Bravo, Randy in Ripman, not in the brake truck. I'm in and out, 73. God bless.
K88FTP, Ron in Canton, with traffic, but in and out.
November 8, Victor, X-Ray Quebec, Perry in Perry's Township, no traffic and in and out.
All right, nicely done. Here's who I have. WB8VMW, KE8SDQ, AB8OU, KC8DEO. Doug was in there as well. And Doug, I got to tell you, I do apologize. Last week I am very sorry that I missed the VE session when I was supposed to be there in your stead. So I do apologize for that. I really and truly had the best intentions. What do they say about the streets lined with good intentions? But anyway, Doug, I do apologize, but I do appreciate all your efforts over the last couple of years in helping out the VE team there. Anyway, with that, hope you're having a great day. We also picked up N8DRD, I believe it was. Is that correct? Come back, please.
That's correct, Gary. N8DRD, November 8, Delta Romeo Delta, Don Marshallville.
All right, just want to make sure that was the right call. You were a little scratchy in there, and I didn't know if I had it right or not. Paul was next. Paul, I missed your call completely. If you could come back and re-identify, I would appreciate it. After N8DRD, there was a check-in with the name Paul. I did not get the call for Paul. If you would come back and re-identify Paul, I would appreciate it, sir. Okay, additionally, we have W8CTM, KB8VHM, KE8IME, N8WS, the National Weather Service, KA8MNT, KE8TLB, not in the brake truck, KA8FTE, stand by, we'll get your traffic here in 1 second, and Perry from Perry's Township, N8VXQ. KA8FTE, please go with your traffic.
Well, it's close. Fox Tango Papa. Good evening, everyone. We'll make it short and sweet. We still have our complete antenna system for sale. Thank you for letting me advertise here. I greatly appreciate it. Antennas, rotor, tower, all the lead-in, gin pole, rope, extra section of tower. You can look at the specifics on my QRZ page. And we also have an FT767DX. GX, I'm sorry, FT767GX for sale. I think there's a picture on my webpage as well. Just reach out to me at K88FTP. That's Fox Tango Papa at gmail.com. It's on my QRZ page. Thanks very much. Back to net control. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
All right, I do have you in and out, and I have corrected the call, KA8FTP. And that's the bottom of that list. I know I missed one or two because of a couple collisions, but anybody else, whoever I missed and anybody else who would like to be in and out this evening, please call W8WKY.
KC8DEP, Brenda, mobile.
All right, Brenda, nicely done. And I got to tell you, your audio is incredible. So much better than Benny's. I don't know what the difference is, but there's just a remarkable difference there. Brenda, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure, and good to hear you this evening. Okay, I'm at the bottom of my list for in and out check-ins. If you'd like to join us tonight for the trivia question and anything else that comes down the pike, please call W8WKY. Regular check-ins, please.
This is Kilo 8 Alpha Charlie Foxtrot. I'm just going to be in and out.
Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo, Phil and Canal Fulton. I'll be in for the trivia, and thank you, Gary. You're doing a great job.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf. I know I'm saying it slow, but it's not first thing in the morning for you, Gary. Brian in Norton, I'll be in.
Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India Bravo KE8 UIB, John in Massillon.
Kilo Echo 8 Victor Quebec X-Ray KE8 CQX, Joe in Akron.
This is WO3X, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
All right, here's who we have. We have another in and out station, K8ACF. Phil, I have you as a regular check-in, WV3K, KF8G, whoever that might be. K8UIB, living the $5 dream, a nickel at a time. Good to hear you, John. K8VQX and WO3X, my favorite zero station. All right, who else would like to join us tonight for the trivia question? I'm taking additional check-ins for regular people, regular check-ins, if you'd like to join us.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8SLG, Nick in Orville.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry in Shreve.
Whiskey 8 Echo Lima Mike Eric Orville.
Kilo Echo 8 Quebec Kilo Oscar K8 Nick Mobile and Dog in and out.
All right, let me pick it up. I don't remember if I called John back or not. I think I did. W03X, KD8SLG. Just Nick and Jerry. The pleasure of every net control operator, KC8HDP, W8ELM, Eric, and there was the last station that checked in. I got Quebec Kilo. Can you come back with the rest of your call? I missed it. You're a little noisy and a little broken. Okay, I got nothing that time. I'm going to take some more check-ins. If you can reorient or get yourself situated, maybe you're just in a bad spot. I don't know. We can try that again. So stand by, and I'm going to give you a call in just a couple minutes. This will be the last call for regular check-ins for this round. If you'd like to join this motley crew, please call W8WKY.
Try to copy Gary, KC8FQV, Fox Queen Victor Mark. I'll be in for the long haul.
Good evening, Gary. Please check in November Tango 8 Delta, NTAD, Dave and Copley.
Good evening, Gary. Kilo Zulu 8. Bravo Lima Delta, Brian, Canal Fulton, Ohio, in and out, KZ8 BLD.
Good evening, Gary. KG4 SCK, Kilo Golf 4, Sierra Charlie Kilo, Mark Copley.
Alrighty, we picked up KC8FQV, NT8D, KZ8BLD. Good evening to you, Brian. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. We appreciate that. And I have you in and out. Mark from Copley, KG4SCK. That's who I have, and we'll just run with that for right now. Okay, how about a trivia question? All right. Here we go. Hidden within the Brooklyn Bridge are vaults originally used to store what? Here are your choices. A, wine. Letter B, artwork. Letter C, gold. Letter D, gunpowder. I'll repeat that. Hidden within the Brooklyn Bridge, that is the iconic bridge linking Manhattan and Brooklyn across the East River in New York. Hidden within the Brooklyn Bridge are vaults originally used to store what items or item? Letter A is wine. Letter B, artwork. Letter C, gold. Letter D, gunpowder. All right, let's get this show on the road. Starting at the top, WV3K. Phil, good morning. Good evening. Whatever time it is, this is W8WKY.
Okay, Gary. Brought a smile to my face. FS for W8WKY. Gary, good evening to you also. I would have to say, because I don't know, I'll make a guess at that, and maybe it might be right, and maybe it's wrong. It doesn't really matter. It's just fun to participate. I think that probably it might be between wine or I was thinking maps, but guess that didn't be a part of the answers. I think that maybe it's probably gee whiz, hard to say. I would say probably aging wine, and I'll leave it at that. And I just want to say also great thank you to oh my goodness gracious, the DE team, Stefan, and the team together that did such a very nice job, and it was so comfortable. And Stefan, thank you for keeping me on point. It was an absolute pleasure being there to work with you and helping all the students. And what a happy note that they did so well. So anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it back to Net Control, and everyone have a wonderful and very blessed evening. And thank you, Gary, and continue on and doing a great job. A8CS for W8WKY. Beacon Net, this is Whiskey Victor. No, not the Beacon Net. Whatever net this is. For the Sarah Net, this is Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo, and I will be standing by.
All right, Phil, I got you down for Alpha, I think. Anyway, I'm glad I could give you a chuckle tonight there, Phil. WV3K, W8WKY, good to hear you this evening. KF8G, whoever that is, this is W8WKY. What do you have for us?
Oh, you bloody well know who it is. The guy that abuses you every chance he gets. Well, the latest email from the Weather Service. What to expect? Showers and thunderstorms are expected to develop on Wednesday afternoon and evening. There could be 2 rounds of storms, one well ahead of a cold front in the afternoon and another during the evening closer to the front. Storms have the potential to become severe with all severe hazards possible, including damaging wind, tornadoes, and hail. Non-thunderstorm wind gusts will be strong once again on Wednesday with southerly wind gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. Uncertainty remains in the forecast. The degree of cloud cover and showers during the first half of the day might impact strength and coverage of the storms in the afternoon. So that's the latest from them. They're looking at what a moderate risk for severe weather tomorrow, with tornadoes kind of in a line from about Fort Wayne up around Cleveland-ish. So be heads up tomorrow. Make sure you keep an eye on the weather. Other than that, not much going on. I will turn it back to our fearful, trembling leader, the old fart, KFHG.
You forgot white-knuckled, Brian. Come on, get it right. KFHG, W8WKY. Did you give me an answer to the trivia question?
Oh, no, I didn't. How about C for I could care less? How's that grab you? Although coal's not a bad answer, but then it would require guards, so I seriously doubt that's right. KFHG.
I love gold. All right, Brian. All right, I got you down for C. Careful. There we go. KFAG, W8WKY. Moving right along. Oh, by the way, Nick, KD8SLG, I need you to make the announcement for the board and breaker net, I think Wednesday 1 to 2. You might want to do that when it comes to your turn, just giving you a heads up there. And I'll add it to the announcements, and we can also put it on the net page on the website. I finally got to my email, as some of you might suffer from that occasionally. That is me being delinquent with my email. At any rate, John, you're up next. Living the $5 dream, my friend. KE8UIB. This is W8WKY. How are you?
Good evening, Gary, and everybody out there on the net. You know, I'm doing great, living that $5 dream, a nickel at a time. Oh, so down to business, the trivia question. You know, my mom's listening in, and she just text messaged me and said her and my dad are both kind of choosing D for an answer. I personally think A, but the missus here, she says B, and she's pretty confident in that. So I think I'm going to go with the missus tonight, and I'm going to take B, Bravo, for my trivia question. At least that's my answer. So that's my logic on that. I hope everybody out there is doing good and stuff this evening, and I hope everybody survived the storms Saturday, and, you know, they weren't too pleasant. I went 36 hours without power, so that's never fun. But things could always be worse, so hey. With that, I just want to say good evening to everybody, and this is KE8UIB, living the $5 dream, a nickel at a time. 7-3, y'all.
All right, John, thank you for that. And my very best, let's say our very best, the Sarah Tuesday Night Nets, very best to your lovely wife and your parents. That's awesome that everybody, we got family participation here. That's super. All right, John, take care. You have just a great rest of the evening, and continue living that $5 dream. Nickel at a time. KE8VQX. Joe, you're up. This is W8WKY.
W8WKY. This is KE8VQX. Interesting question, Gary, and you're doing a great job, I think, within that. I'm going to go with D, D Delta, because I'm a big fan of gunpowder. Anyways, that's all I got. So, KE8VQX, back to net.
KE8VQX, W8WKY. All right, Joe, got you down for Delta, and thanks for stopping by this evening. We appreciate it. All right, WO3X. Good evening, John. How are you? And what's cooking in your world?
Good evening, Gary, and all on the net. This is WO3X. I guess because I participated in the WPX contest, I wasn't sure what all countries I contacted, but apparently somebody in Poland heard me and invited me to participate in their contest over the weekend. So I didn't make a lot of contacts, but it was fun. And all that you had to do was give your call, say 59, and your serial number of that contact. And then what they gave back was 59 and a letter, which was, I guess, the first letter of their province or whatever the division was there. So that was a lot of fun, and most of the contacts were on 15 meters and some on 20 meters, but I didn't make any contacts with them on 10 meters, which was surprising. So regarding the trivia question, gunpowder sounds like something pretty useful to be stored there, but around the time when that was, I'm going to go with wine. So with that, let's see, that was choice A. So I'm going to go with A alpha, wine. So with that, back to you, Gary, W8WKY. This is WO3X.
WO3X, this is W8WKY. All right, John, got you down for Alpha. By the way, we have, here's the choices so far, ACBDA. That's pretty good. Not a bad distribution. All right, John, thanks for your input there. We appreciate it, and thanks for stopping by this evening. Moving down the list, KD8SLG. This is W8WKY. How are you this evening? And don't forget about the Boredom Breaker net.
W8WKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Gary, and all of the Sarah netizens out there. All right, let's start with trivia. I'm going to go with Delta. I think gunpowder. I'm pretty sure they still can't make wine in New York. Oh, man, that's mean. All right, what else? KF8G there gave a whole bunch of weather reports. I guarantee you it will rain tomorrow because I spent 5 hours today detailing my car. So you guys can blame me for that. Forget about the weather service. Yeah, that's my fault. That's me. I'm guilty. And yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday. I've been last week I linked the Sarah hub up to the Boredom Breaker hub for the first hour of the Boredom Breaker net, where Dustin sits in the big chair and I play logger, and we do that every Wednesday, and it's a really good time. We had great participation from Ohio last week. I think 11 out of the 41 check-ins for the first hour there we did. So it was great to hear the people that jumped in there, and we do have our regulars there, K8PJW, KC8FQV, K8SFS, have all been pretty regular there. And what was it? Monday, the Boredom Breaker net celebrated its 3rd anniversary of continuous daily nets. So that was a little bit of an accomplishment there. So yeah, Wednesdays, we hook it up. You can get there from here. And if you're out and about, have an all-star note, it's 49562, Echo Link N5XQK-R for the N5XQK Memorial Boredom Breaker net. Don't forget about the barometer net every morning, except for Sunday, here on the W8WKY. Back to W8WKY, this is KD8SLG.
Oh, contraire, Nick. They whine a lot in New York. A lot. Trust me, I lived there on Long Island for 7 years. There's a lot of whining going on there. All right, Nick, I got you down for Delta. Let's move right along before the FCC comes and shuts me down. KC8HDP, this is W8WKY. How are you this evening, Jerry?
Well, good evening, Gary, and good evening to everyone on the net. I'm doing just fine. Hope everyone else is as well. I'm going to answer the trivia question before I forget. I am going to go with Delta. I think storing gunpowder in the Brooklyn Bridge would be great. It would already be there. If they wanted to blow the bridge in case of a hostile invading force, I know they could come on land from the ocean, but it would prevent a hostile invading force from coming in over the bridge. So that's my reasoning behind that. I have no idea, actually. It was a pleasure being at the VE session on Saturday. Stefan always does a great job, a great team, and it's great when everybody passes. The only thing I don't like about being a VE is having to tell someone they didn't pass. So other than that, I love it. I love to help people get licensed and upgrade. Thanks to Brian for the weather update. Be aware of that tomorrow. Don't have anything else, so I'm going to send it back to you, Gary. W8WKY and the net from KC8HDP 730.
All right, Jerry, you said it very eloquently. The team does a great job, and they continue to improve their performance and the way of doing things. I think ham tools are coming up. I think that's what it's called, and that'll be another step forward. and you guys really do a fabulous job. I do want to also apologize to you, Jerry. I was on the telephone with Marty the other day, and I was doing some testing. I was just saying testing on the repeater. You came back to me, and I was on the phone. I wanted to get back to you. By the time I got back to you, you had left. So I heard you. I wasn't ignoring you. I was just kind of tied up on the phone there for a little bit, but I do appreciate you coming back to me there. KC8HDP, W8WKY. Moving on down the list, W8ELM. Eric, how are you this evening? This is W8WKY.
Well, good evening, Gary, and everybody on the net. I am doing just fine. I am back up in my shack. Now I have recovered from my surgery enough that steps are possible. And as far as the trivia question goes, I sincerely hope that D is not the correct answer. I don't think that would be a good place to store that stuff. Yeah, it'd be great if you needed to blow the bridge, but certainly wouldn't want to see that happening accidentally. Can't imagine why they would store gold there, so I'm going to eliminate those two. That takes me down to wine and artwork. And being a near teetotaler who just occasionally falls off the wagon, I'm going to leave wine out also and go with artwork. So my choice is going to be B. And I ignore Jerry all the time. Back to net.
All right, Eric. All right, I'm really glad you're back. And if you want to pick up some trivia questions down the road here, that would be fabulous as well. Glad you're doing well. That is good news. We certainly are happy to hear that news. You're tackling steps now. That's perfect. All right, Eric. I have you down for Bravo artwork. And we'll see how all that works out. And thanks for being here this evening. It's certainly a pleasure. And I assume, I know you're back in town. I'm pretty doggone sure of that. Is that true? Go ahead.
The end of January, just before we were getting ready to leave for Alabama, I slipped on the ice and tore my quadriceps tendon off of the kneecap. Took me a number of weeks until they could schedule the surgery, so we did not make it to the South this year. We'll see what happens next year. W8WKY from W8ELM.
Well, there you have it. And Eric, I am so sorry that I did not know that. At any rate, I am sure you enjoyed the mild winter we had up north here, so all was not lost. But I'm glad you got that your surgery in. Unfortunate it took so long to get, but at any rate, it's done now, and obviously you're doing better. That is a good thing. All right, moving right along. KC8FQV, W8WKY. Good evening, Mark.
All right, good evening, Gary. KC8FQV. I thought the HT would work while I was down here. I don't know, maybe that one went south or something too. I could hear it. I'm going to get out. Down in green. I said, oh, we'll hit that. We went down, did my sister's birthday, celebrated it. We were just down Sunday, but we came back down. It was great doing that. I'm down plenty of times. A good day well with the grinders and 8. So I'm going to say on the wine, I'm going to say wine. And other than that, not much else are happening. It was a nice day out. So go home and get the rest of the work done so they can put the furnace in tomorrow. Yeah, someone will own a furnace in their car someday. you know. Every year that it gave it last huff and puff last week. But at least it was at the end of winter, so it was not bad. So we'll send it back to net control, KCFQV.
KC8FQV, W8WKY. All right, Mark, got you down for Alpha. Thanks for stopping by this evening, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck with the installation, let's put it that way. All right, buddy, take care. NT8D, W8WQI. Good evening, Dave.
Oh, good evening, Gary, everybody on the net, and all the listeners tonight. Hope everybody's having a good start to their week. What a beautiful, beautiful day. Closed it out with a little bit of stress. Apparently, Bean, our male cat, encountered some wildlife this evening. He survived, no blood. I'm not sure what he encountered, but my daughter said she heard a cat screaming like it was being torn apart. So he found and got in a fight with something, but he managed to get away unscathed, apparently. We got him back in the house. He ran down and started hiding in the basement. His tail's all fluffed up and stuff. So I didn't hear any coyotes or anything, so I'm not sure what who he came across. Curious. Anyways, got some boat work done today. Got some epoxy work. Did a little bit of work on the trailer. I made my Easter cheese for this year, so that got done today. So all in all, a productive day. I don't know the answer to the question, but my best guess is going to be Alpha wine. If not the best guess, it's my favorite one there, Gary. AA8CS, on back to you, NTAD.
All right, Dave. Any fight you can walk away from is a good fight. Yeah, that's unusual. Maybe it was just a quick encounter with another cat, and then they may have decided that mutual obliteration was not an option tonight. Maybe cats are smart like that. Never know. All right, Dave, thanks for being here this evening, and I have you down for Alpha. KZ8B, Brian was in and out. Say good morning, or good evening to him again. Brings me down to Mark, KG4SCK from Copley. Good evening, Mark. How are you this evening?
Hey, good evening, Gary. I'm doing very well, thank you. I can't wait to hear the explanation for the answer on this one, so I'm going to dive into my answer. I think it's too wet for gunpowder. I'd hate for the gold to slip and fall in the water. And too wet for artwork, I think. So I'm going to go with A, wine. A lot of bootleggers around there. Not sure the time frame, but that's my answer. And sorry I can't join the barometer net in the mornings and the beacon net on Wednesday, whatever that was. That four-letter word gets in the way. Work, I'm already there. But I enjoy listening to Jim. Jim line them up and get them stirred up in the mornings. I listen to it on the way in. So, with that said, back over to W8WKY net control. This is KG4SDK.
All right, Mark. Well, you should check in with that early group. Just tell them that you were there, and Jim will put you down. Anyway, thanks for stopping by this evening. We appreciate that. Nick was talking about the boredom breaker net. That's at 1 in the afternoon, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesdays. Wednesdays. Both Nick and Dustin, club member, EPC club members, participate with our friends from Oklahoma. Not a bad, and it's a fun little net, and we're going to support our members in that endeavor. So if you have an opportunity on Wednesday afternoon, stop by and do that. Now, the Beacon Net is Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, so that's a different ball game, and maybe you're not at work at that point, so you might want to investigate that. Anyway, a bunch of nets are listed on our webpage, and let's see, where is it? Repeaters. Yeah, under repeaters, it's repeater and net info. So, and then down lower is local nets and other local repeaters. So, lots of information on our webpage, w8wky.org. Thanks for stopping by, Mark. Really appreciate it. All right, I'm at the list. Let me grab a second.
W8WKY.
Okay, as I said, I'm at the bottom of my list. Let me reestablish this as the Tuesday night Sarah Club Net. It is April 4th, if you can believe that. April already. That April showers brings May flowers. It was something I was going to say, and I forget what it was. Wow. Not that anybody's surprised with that. Okay. All right. We have some time, so let's see if there's anybody else that would like to join us for the trivia question. If you'd like to join this motley crew, give me a call. This is W8WKY.
Kilo Delta 2, Hotel Charlie Echo. We'll be in and out.
With Kilo Echo 8, Kilo Oscar, K8QKO, Nick, Mobile.
KC3QND, Jeannie here.
All right, we picked up two. We have KD2HCE. I believe he said in and out. Is that correct?
Roger, KD2HCE.
All righty, sir. Thank you for stopping by this evening. We appreciate that. I have you in the log as Kilo Delta 2, Hotel Charlie Echo. Nick was in there as well, KE8QKO, and Jeannie, KC3QND. Is there anybody who'd like to join us?
Whiskey Delta 8, Lima Alpha.
Just close to us, he's not a foreign station.
All right, we picked up Neil, WD8LLA, and something else. I'm not sure what that was. Got you, Neil. Thank you for that. Stand by. We'll get right to you. All right, I'm going to reread the trivia question for you folks. It's a quick one. Hidden within the Brooklyn Bridge are vaults originally used to store alpha, wine, beta, artwork, Charlie, gold, Delta, gunpowder. All right, there you have it. Let's kick here. KE8QKO. Good evening. How are you this evening?
KE8QKO. Doing well, Gary. Just dropped the son off with my in-laws. So he's going to spend some time with them for spring break. And my wife and I are driving home. Just listening to the net here. We tried to get in earlier, but I think it was a little too far out. So the second round was perfect, so I can get in here. We've been talking. I think we're going to go with Alpha. I'm not sure if that's right now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to overthink it. So we're going to go with Alpha Wine. And really, that's all I have tonight. So I guess with that, sir, I'll pass it back to you. This is KE8QKO.
All right, Nick. Yeah, you tried earlier, and what I did copy was Quebec Kilo. So I did get the QK part. I just couldn't hear the rest. But now, loud and clear. So a nice signal, and I have you down for Alpha. You two enjoy your freedom. Enjoy having the house to yourself. And I'm sure the in-laws will just absolutely enjoy the kids as well. All right, Jeannie, you're up. KC3QND. This is W8WKY. What do you have for us this evening?
This is KC3QND. Well, it was a beautiful day. I mean, tomorrow's going to be pretty crappy, but all in all, today was a beautiful day. Norse had their luncheon at the Golden Corral today, so we went to that, and it was fun. And it was a great day to be outside. And the trivia question, I don't know, is there any gold left in the United States? I think we shipped it all out. So I think there's going to be one empty vault if they're going to put gold in there. And gunpowder, the government owns that, most of it. If you want to buy gunpowder, you almost have to go underground to get it. And artwork, that doesn't seem likely. But we got to save the wine. You know, you never know why we got vaults under there for anyway, but maybe they want to reserve it for a big party, and I'm all for that. So let's save the wine. So I'm going to go with A. So hello to everybody, and that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it, right or wrong. KC3QND, back to you.
All right, Jeannie, I appreciate your logic there. Makes sense to me. All right, and as I said earlier, they whine a lot in New York, just saying. WD8LLA, this is W8WKY. Good evening, Neil. How are you?
W8WKY, WD8LLA. Downtown Neil Brown from Metropolitan Brewster. Everything's fine down here. And my answer for the trivia is Jimmy Hoffa. That's all I can come up with. Anyhow, it's good to hear everybody on. I hope everybody's safe out there and having a wonderful day. That's here. Back to net control. Gary, thanks for doing all you do. It's a great net.
All righty, Neil, thank you for the flowers, and I got you down for Jimmy Hoffa, and that is a fabulous guess. WD8LLA88CS. Neil, just living the, oh, let's see, how does Dick say that? Living the dream in beautiful downtown Brewster? There you go. All right, Neil, thanks for being here. Have a great evening. Okay, I'm at the bottom of my list, so let's turn it over to the master of trivia. Oh, wait a minute, that's me. Okay, let me grab a second. Hidden within the Brooklyn Bridge are vaults originally used to store A, wine, B, artwork, C, gold, D, gunpowder. Well, the answer is alpha, wine. New York City, due to its vast size and age, is home to more than a few architectural surprises and secrets. The iconic Brooklyn Bridge linking Manhattan and Brooklyn across the East River is no exception. Deep beneath the bridge's anchorages on both shores, you'll find numerous passageways and vaults. Why build passageways and vaults into a bridge? Constructed over 14 years, beginning in 1869, the bridge cost $15.5 million. That would be $397 million, approximately, when adjusted for inflation today. with the architects and City of New York creatively putting the bridge to use to help offset the cost. The vaults were opened for use in 1876. The vaults, thanks to their depth and stone construction, maintained a perfect 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 16 degrees Celsius. Wine importers and upscale restaurants around the city were more than happy to pay a premium to rent the vaults in order to protect their expensive wine and champagne collections. In the days before electric refrigeration and air conditioning, the vaults were a perfect way to protect wine against temperature fluctuations and spoilage. Today, the vaults are no longer used for wine storage, either sitting vacant or housing far less glamorous things like piles of maintenance supplies for the crews that maintain the bridge. And there you have it. And now you know everything that I do. All right. Correct answers.
W8WKY.
WV3K. WO3X. KC8FQV. NT8D. KG4SCK, KE8QKO, and KC3QND. And Neil might be right. I'm not sure. Jimmy Hoffa could be down there too. Just not verified yet. Okay, there you have it. All right, I'm at the bottom of my list. We're at the bottom of the net. We have a couple minutes. Let's make this the last call. If anybody else would like to join this motley crew before we pull the plug, now's your opportunity to check in with us. Give me a call. This is W8WKY.
Kilo 8. Kilo Echo 8. Uniform still in and out.
All right, we had a bit of a collision there. That was Phil, K8PJW, is that correct?
Affirmative.
All right, got you, Phil, and there was somebody else in there. If you could come back and re-identify, please.
Kilo Echo 8 with Echo Uniform, Indianapolis system in and out.
All right, we have KE8WTU. You are kind of noisy, actually very noisy, and it's kind of rough copy there, but I did get you in the log there. Maybe just, I'm going to call on you in just a second if you can maybe reposition or if you have a little more power possibly. We'll see if we can get you in. Let's go with Phil, K8PJW. Phil, take it away. This is W8WKY.
KPJW, good evening, AA8CS. I was just going to check in and out, but I just got back from the scout meeting, caught the tail end of the trivia question. Very good one, Gary. So, anyways, wanted to wave a hand. This is KPJW, back to the net.
All right, Phil, thank you for that. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for that. Yeah, the trivia question, I thought it was pretty interesting. We don't normally talk about the Brooklyn Bridge, although it is iconic and it is old. And if you ever have to store some wine, you know where to do it. Okay. All right, let's give KE8WTU a shot here. This is W8WKY. Let's see how we can copy now.
This is KE8WTU. This is coming in and out, Gary. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better.
Absolutely. We did hear you a little better that time around. Still a little noisy, but I caught that fine business. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, sir. Back to you. W8.
All righty, sir. Thank you for being here this evening, and you have a great rest of the evening. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list, bottom of the net. It is 8:59. I'll close the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association at 8:59. Yeah, there you go. We had 37 check-ins this evening. Not bad. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 correct answers on the trivia question. So good job this evening, everyone. I want to thank everybody who participated in tonight's net. I also want to thank all the listeners. It is your participation that makes this net the success that it is. Don't forget to check into the Drive Time Sarah Barometer net Monday through Saturday. That's at the ungodly hour of 7 a.m. That's in the morning for the uninitiated. Let's see, what else? We have the Border Breaker net on Wednesdays from 1 to 2, and we have the Beacon net on Wednesday nights. I think that starts at 9:30 with pre-checks, 10 o'clock for the net, and that happens on Wednesday and Sunday. I think we got you covered. So come on down and participate. Remember, we do have a meeting coming up on April 20th at the Eagles in Wadsworth. Want to see you there. And that's it for tonight. This is W8WKY. Saying 73, everybody. Have a great evening, and stop back by next week when Jerry, KC8HDP, will be turning the dials, and be ready for another fantastic net. 73, all. This is W8WKY / AA8CS, my personal call. I'm returning this repeater back to normal amateur radio use. W8WKY is clear. 73 all.
W8WKY. 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 Repeater PL114.8. W8WKY.